Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday's stream. How are you guys doing today? Why do I look so... I can't tell if it's the lighting or if my camera needs like a... Hold on, I think I got like a napkin. Jesus. I can't tell if like the lens is just a little smudged. I look kind of, I don't know, cloudy. I don't know if that's just the lighting or not. No, it's still... whatever. Actually, it's probably just because I'm zoomed in. Hello, guys. Welcome to stream. How is everybody? How are you guys? I really need to move this mic. Although... Tori, hello. Welcome in. Thank you for coming. And that's it. No, actually, so, an announcement I made that I will reiterate, especially for you, because I don't think you were here. And I don't know if you saw it on the Discord or not. So, and as a reminder to anyone else who may be watching, until the end of the month, we are running a contest, the winner of which will be the person who has contributed / donated the most to the channel, during this month. We started it on Monday, but it is retroactively including any and all donations for the entirety of the month. So that includes just, regular monetary donations, any and all bits, any and all gifted subs, all that sort of stuff. Whoever donates the most to the channel by the end of the month will receive this guy. His name is Silas. Mana hand crocheted him herself, and we are giving it away. She's also going to be making one specifically for the channel to remain on here as like a little mascot, which I'm excited about. She hasn't even started on it yet. We still have to go out and pick out the yarn that she's going to use to make it. But, yeah. So we're going to do that. That's the contest. Anything else? Well, I guess for you specifically, again, just like in the last few days, I've added some stuff to the channel. So I don't know if you're on mobile or not, or whether you're on the desktop. I don't know if you can do it on mobile. Here, why don't I check? Ooh, someone asked me a question about stream, kinda. How long are you streaming for? About 2 hours. Laptop. Okay, perfect. Then underneath the video, you should see something a little new. The sound alerts. Am I gonna do that now? No, I won't do it now. Tori, specifically, remind me after stream because I wanted to look for and add a the X-Files theme. Obviously not like the entirety of the song, but at the very least those first couple notes, maybe into the I don't know, there's no chorus or whatever, but yeah, I want to add the X-Files theme as a sound alert. Spoopy. Especially because, like, one of the suggestions I think either you gave or Mana gave or Mana told me you gave for emotes was like an Illuminati one, like the all-seeing eye and the pyramid. And I really love that, and I thought those two things could pair really well together. Of like just seeing people spamming like an Illuminati emote and then someone playing like the X-Files theme as a sound alert. I think that would be really funny when that ever like becomes, whenever something on stream I guess happens to justify it. But yeah, I love the combination of those two things, so we'll for sure be doing that. That'll be one of the emotes, so that's one done. What else? So yeah, so the sound alerts, use Spurdo Sparde. What the fuck is that? Should I look it up? I'm afraid to now. Anything you suggest. Oh, so they're a person. Okay. He's a nice bear fella? Oh, I see. Maybe. The problem is right now we have such a limited amount. It's a weird dichotomy right now because like I'm in this space where I simultaneously feel like I don't have I don't have enough emotes, and simultaneously too many. Because like I've got a note on my phone to like to keep track of all that, like all of my like ideas and everything. And so I'll just, again, I feel like I'm very transparent with you guys. I'll keep you updated on how things work on my end. So I currently have, and I say currently because, and I don't know if I've told you guys this, the more subs I have, the more emotes I can give. There are basically like goals that like when you reach X amount of subscribers, you unlock more emotes. So we have actually hit the first goal already. It was 15. We hit that. I believe the one I'm currently on is 25. And then I'll get a new emote and a new animated emote, I believe. So currently, I can have 5 standard emotes, which are essentially emotes available to everybody. I can have, and now we get into specific things, so like, sub-emotes, so emotes that are only accessible to subscribers. I've got 6 available tier 1s and 2 animated ones. 1 tier 2 and 1 tier 3. And then I can also have specific emotes for people who have donated a certain amount of bits, which is 1k, 5k, and 10k. And then, of course, I'm also, always keeping ideas up for channel point rewards and new sound alerts. That's so many options. Dude, this is why, like, I was so looking forward to getting here. It, like I said, like, it was not entirely the money. Like, it was not just all about, like, oh, let's get to affiliate so you guys can finally give me your money. No, like, again, that wasn't none of it, But the biggest part was all of this shit. It was the availability of better extensions, you know, the bits, the channel points, the emotes, the all the different ways that I'm now able to interact with you guys, and you're able to interact with me in a much more fun way. So you don't want copious amounts of money? I ain't saying that either. We're literally making a contest for you guys to overpay for a crocheted stuffed mushroom. Hey, give me your fucking money. I'm not gonna tell you not to. All I'm saying is, I didn't want people thinking that was my only goal in reaching these landmarks. It was everything else, and then the fact that it could be a potential new source of revenue for me. I'm broke. Hey, me too. Why do you think I'm trying? Why do you think I'm on Twitch trying to make money? But yeah, in terms of that, you know, the contest itself goes through, you know, the rest of the month. I'm sure we'll have more. When are you gonna start a Clussy OnlyFans? Hey. If the money's there. I don't mind showing feet as long as people pay for it. Do not care at all. Oh, also, Tori, for you specifically, again, just because I don't know what you know or don't know. So clearly, I'm sure by now you've noticed that TTS does not exist anymore. In the form that it did, which was essentially it just blanketly played all dialogue. It read every message that came through chat. Again, we were finally kind of at that point of growth where that became too much. Like, I just couldn't fucking talk, but I didn't want to tell you guys not to talk. But of course, that also meant that, you know, people within chat couldn't have conversations just between themselves, like between each other. So, TTS still exists. You guys can still talk to me. But in terms of it being read out loud on stream, there are two options. Either you can use your bits for the sound alert. The sound alerts have a text-to-speech option. Or you can redeem your channel points below down in chat, which also has a text-to-speech option. I believe it... I'm so upset that didn't work. Squoos, thank you for actually bringing that to my attention, that once again, it was not working. Let me see if I have to... I may have to refresh this, like, every time. Yeah, people with a crown by their name have their Twitch account linked with their Amazon account specifically for Amazon Gaming. Nope. Okay, I still didn't hear it. Why? This happened yesterday and I fixed it. Does anyone remember what the fuck I did? I actually don't even know if I did. I know I did it while I was live, but I don't know. I can't remember what it was I actually did that fixed it. Because I thought it was just that. I thought it was just... Is it sound alerts? Oh, no. Now I remember. It was a... Hold on. It was a specific thing, I thought. Hold on. Let me check my sources. Nope. Hold on. Let me check this out. Something went wrong. Because I think it's a source I'm missing, but it's also not popping up. Let me go to my extensions and see what's going on. Oh, no, that's right. It wasn't that at all. It was a... Fuck. It was a completely separate thing. Oh, what the fuck was the name of it? Oh, I had to do this whole process and it was on stream, and now I'm trying to remember what the fuck it was. Oh, when I can't check... Okay, hold on. I can't check the VOD on YouTube because it didn't upload. I usually get everything set up, make sure the video's processing and loading, and then I leave it alone. And then I did, and I came back, and like I came back and checked on it today, and it failed to process. So I'll have to re-upload it along with today's video. Okay, yesterday was the 13th. Bing bong. Sorry, I'm trying to fucking mute this video so you guys aren't listening to two of me. Although maybe that would have been more entertaining. I don't know. I just realized I'm just sitting here fucking staring at this video. What happened on my backdrop? Mana and I switched rooms. So I'm in the back room now. Again. Yeah, so everything is still kind of packed right now. I have yet to do the process of any sort of unpacking. Oh shit, he's in the back rooms. Yeah, I fell through, buddy. You're funny. Okay, great, but what was that website? I'm literally watching a video of me doing the exact same thing. Like, I'm sitting here doing the same thing. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try something. Squoosh, your fucking comment yesterday. Look at this shocked boy. I've deleted the TTS thing from the channel. Okay. That provided nothing. Hold on. I'll be right back. See? Now, the problem is I know it had to have a browser source, but for some reason, the old one, like the one that I made yesterday, just isn't there. And, I didn't delete it, but now I gotta... Oh, you didn't get to see the stream waiting? Yeah, I'll send it to you, hold on. There you go. Okay, I just gotta find that fucking website again. What did I Google? Twitch channel point TTS. Okay, yes. Okay, thank God. It was the first thing that came up. Reward TTS. Add new source. Reward TTS. Add source. Here's the whatever. Okay. Let's see.
TTS.
All right, we're back. Wow, what a debacle that was. And we will just hope that it doesn't fucking delete itself again. The next time I switch to a new scene, can someone please remind me to add it to the other scenes as well? All right. Hello. It's been 30 minutes and I think we can get stream started. Guys, I know I say it every fucking time it happens, but, you know, it wouldn't be a Sirius Bright Star stream unless it was completely scuffed and there was some sort of technical issue, huh? No, Squoose, you can't say that. Guess I should point over here, directly where this fucking thing is. You can't say that. I said, I didn't just say, remind me to add it to a new scene. I said, remind me to add it to a new scene the next time I switch to one. I have not changed scenes yet. This is changing scenes. That's changing scenes. Yeah, I mean, you right. I'm an important man and I'm a wet man. How do you like it? Hey, you should switch that. Oh, yeah, you're right. Neat. How are you guys doing today? I'm surprised Dubs isn't here. If he misses this will be like his first stream ever missed. That'll be crazy. Everyone's busy. Everyone's got lives. I will miss the German tongue twister though. I really liked that. We were this close. That's not relevant. We weren't working towards anything. But I did pretty good on yesterday's and the day before's. He told me that, so my German pronunciation is getting better at least. I still don't know jack shit about the language. Yes, how are you guys? Sorry if I made anyone out there a little nervous with the posting that pic of me in a mask in a like a medical gown. I just had my yearly physical. Everything. You could just save me. Hey, I didn't know if anyone else got worried. I didn't wanna assume. Tori. But yeah, everything was fine. Actually a little better than fine. So for years, basically since I could remember, I've dealt with chronic fatigue. Like, no matter how much rest I get, no matter how little rest I get, no matter the quality of said rest, I've never woken up at 100%. Kayla, welcome in! It was at this moment that he knew it wasn't fine. No, it's good. Yeah, so I've dealt with chronic fatigue. Like, I could count on one hand the amount of times I've woken up from like a night's rest and been like, ooh, okay, let's get going. Like, it just doesn't fucking happen. And I also understand that, you know, for the longest time I just chalked it up to the fact that I wasn't a morning person. You know, that just like, because you just hear like some people just wake up and it takes them a little while to get going. My problem is I'll wake up and I never get going. Like, there's never a point where like I've ever like felt like I'm fine. I've never felt like I've had enough energy. I thought that's just how life was. Exactly. Turns out none of us are an anything person. Yup. But, you know, it was finally at the point where I was done with it, so I just told my doctor. Because, again, like, I would always come up with, maybe not necessarily excuses, but reasons to never address it. It's like, oh, I'm not a morning person. Oh, I have depression and anxiety. It's just those things. Like, those are just symptoms of having that. And while all of those things are true, it still doesn't mean that there couldn't be some sort of other underlying reason. And honestly, the only thing that really got me thinking about it was because there was a YouTube channel that I watched for a little bit, and the guy in it also said that he dealt with like chronic fatigue and finally got sick of it, talked to his doctor. They actually found out what it was, and he ended up having surgery to correct it. You know, so like I maybe wasn't necessarily thinking that, but I was at least thinking like, oh, okay, maybe this is a thing. Maybe this is like a fixable thing. Yes, the symptoms of living in a corroding empire. And, you know, exactly, like it was part of the, you know, that was part of it too, of just like, but again, it's always something. And again, not to say that it isn't these things, that they're not contributors or anything, but it's like, you know, oh, I'm not a morning person. Oh, I have mental illness. Oh, I'm living in fucking late capitalist America. And it's like, yes, all of these things can wear you down and wear you down and wear you down. But this felt much more long-term and physical. So, talked to my doctor. And the last time that I got labs, they went ahead and did a... They checked my testosterone levels, And it turns out that they are lower than what they would like them to be at. So I got a recommendation from them today to an endocrinologist. So I'll be calling them and making an appointment, and just having a discussion with them. The nurse practitioner that I saw today, my to make it easy, I just say doctor, but it's a nurse practitioner, whatever. She was like, maybe they'll do injections, or like they have like, I can't remember if she said cream or gel, but I guess there's like a topical way of getting testosterone into you. And for once I kind of just spoke up and was just very, very honest, because usually like I never lie at doctor's appointments, but sometimes like that part of me, that anxiety is like, ooh, I don't want to be a bother, I don't want to cause any trouble, has led me to not pursue things as probably like severe as I should. And fuck was I saying? I promise I'm not high, I'm just forgetful. But yeah, so like they said, I'm referring you to an endocrinologist, here's their number, they may do this and this. Do you, like, are you okay with that? Or do you want to pursue that? And I just asked her, I was like, do you think it'll help? Because I was like, if this is for the testosterone stuff, like, do you think correcting that, like, do you think increasing my testosterone levels will help me with the chronic fatigue? And she said yes, so I said okay. So, like I said, I just got to give them a call and set up an appointment, see what they say. And yeah, hopefully doing that will start giving me more energy and more ability to do just the basic things that I need to do, like house chores and mowing the lawn and just getting things done, and starting on like a good exercise regimen to get my weight under control. Speaking of, real quick, the other good news that came out of today, I have a long way to go. There is still many things that I need to change about my health and my regimen, and my body. There's still a lot of this weight that I would like to lose. But when I came in, as almost just any doctor's appointment, you get weighed and all that. They had me step on the scale pretty much as soon as I came in the door. I can proudly say that at this moment, I am at the lowest weight that I have been in my adult life. At my heaviest that I'm aware of, I was at like 380 something. For the most part, I always kind of considered myself around like 365, 360. I never went above 4. I never went above 400, and I ensured at least that. But as of today, I am a bee's dick away from a goal that I have had for decades, which is to be under 300. I want that first number to be a 2 again. And at my weigh-in today, 301. It was like hovering around 301.4, 0.5. So, those of you in chat right now who know me, know that I never do this, and I never think this, I never say this, but like, yeah, I'm really proud of myself. I've ever since my diagnosis, I have been very good and strict with my diet, allowing myself those small rewards here or there, but never going overboard. My idea of a reward for my diet is an Oreo. You know, so I've been doing good on that. And again, like, just cutting out sugar, I've lost like 60 fucking pounds. So, on top of that, and this isn't new news. I learned this when I got the results of my lab about a couple weeks to a month ago. For those of you who aren't in the diabetes world at all, quick explanation. When you get your labs done, like your blood drawn, there's a particular number that they look at for essentially your blood sugar. It's called your A1C. Now, a normal A1C is anywhere from like 3 to 5. Anything above that, and they like a 6 or a 7, they consider you pre-diabetic, and anything above that, you're diabetic. Whenever I was first diagnosed, my A1C was an 11. So thankfully they caught that in time. That was 2 years ago. A little more. We may be coming up on 3 years. I don't remember the year. Since that time, with everything I've done, which again has mostly just been dietary changes, I'm still, I don't exercise. Shortly before you moved. So was that 2019 or 2020 that you moved? No, you moved before COVID, so that would have been 2019, right? That was like October 2019. Oh no, that was 2020. Okay. Okay, so coming up on 2 years. So yeah, just in under 2 years, I have lost upwards of 60 pounds, and my A1C has gone down 3 points just from dietary change. When I got my blood work back this past time, my A1C was at like an 8 something. So still above normal, absolutely. I still need to continue everything I'm doing. But my A1C dropped 3 points in less than 2 years. I can do another 3 points. I can keep this up. I don't know. I mean, I would have had to. But, like, it would have been so much more difficult if I hadn't have gotten this news. Like, if the progress I had made had not been what it was, it would have been very disheartening to know that all of the restrictions that I've put on myself and all of the changes I've made and the sacrifices I've made meant either nothing or very little. It would have been very difficult to keep going, because it's like, well, if I'm doing all this hard work and just maintaining, like, you know, again, like, I would have kept doing it, but it would have been a lot more mentally challenging to do so. But knowing that what I've been doing has been working, and working well, again, if I can just not even fix or like get rid of, but if I can just supplement this fatigue and this just complete lack of energy, and like really start getting out there and like really start exercising at least a little bit every day. Like, you know, I'm not a doctor. I haven't like really looked into it, but I know it's a possibility for type 2 diabetes to go into remission. That'd be pretty fucking cool. Again, not that it's like, oh, I hit this, I can just have whatever the fuck I want now. Like, no. But I would probably let up on myself a little bit. I wouldn't be so afraid. I wouldn't be so afraid that just having like a couple bites of like a regular piece of cake with the rest of my family isn't going to make my fucking foot fall off. feel really good once you get that tea your body needs. Hey. There's only one tea my body needs, and he lives 600 miles north of me. It is not that far to Indy. I forgot how far away Indy is from Evansville. It's more like 300. No, it's not even that. It's like 200 something, isn't it? If that. How far? Hold on. Shut the fuck up for a second. Indianapolis. Let's do a map. Maybe 120. Yeah. I think it's a little more, but it isn't by much. Also consider, though, and again, not by a ton, but the person I'm talking about lives a little bit north of Indy in I'm not gonna fucking dox him. I'm not gonna say. But from here to Indy, but I said maps. Let me drive there. I have to go, so honestly, just wanted to pop in and say hi. Keep going, you're doing so good. Thank you so much, Kayla. I really, really appreciate it. By the way, I know it was 1 bits, but technically speaking, with your donation yesterday, you're still in. You're a part of the running for Silas now. So thank you for the 16 bits. I will. Mana's keeping track of everything. I'll let them know so that they can add your name and add 15 cents next to it. Thanks for stopping by, Kayla. It's always great having you. How do I drive here? How the fuck on... I cannot believe I'm asking this. How do you use Google Maps? How do I... So here's what I did. I Google searched Indianapolis, and then I hit maps. So I'm still... Why don't I just fucking show you guys? This is what I'm staring at. How do I... Granted, you guys can't see the top. I guarantee you, the only things that are getting cut off for you guys, it just says... There's tabs over the map that say restaurants, hotels, attractions, museums, transit, and pharmacies. I see... Sidebar? Okay, well, here's the menu. Your places, your contributions, locations... Hit directions? That's what I mean, is I don't see that. See, it's not the layer. Oh, those. Okay. Yep, I see it now. I am going to do that. I'm going to switch away from that scene real quick just because... Okay, I get to choose a starting point. So, I didn't want to fucking dox myself either. Alright, Evansville, Indiana. I don't mind saying the city. 172 miles from, Google's point for Evansville to Indianapolis is Google point, which I'm guessing is downtown. So, yeah, just under 3 hours, 172 miles. That's what I thought. I knew it was less than 200, but I knew it was more than 120. It's 120 to get to Bloomington from here. Or Terre Haute, one of those two. Whichever one is 50 miles outside of Indy. So Bloomington, actually, if you're going up the 69. Nice, the sex number. Oh, hold on. I will be right back. Fuck. I'm stuck. Alright, I'm unstuck. No, I did not forget to change the screen. Guys. Is here. New monitor is here. Should I open this? You guys want me to open this on stream? I'm not gonna get it set up or anything. I honestly probably won't even do that before my it probably won't get done today. It'll probably have to wait till tomorrow. Hey, if you're watching the stream on YouTube, welcome to our unboxing video. This is the our unboxing of the A-Open 24CH3Y. It's a 23.5-inch display that I got for just over $100. So yeah. I mean, obviously I can't, you know, this is literally the only camera I have. I can't do like crazy fucking angles and shit, but do I have anything sharp? Does I got anything sharp in there? Scissors. That'll work. Sorry, guys. Sharp. Let me turn the music down a little bit. I would also adjust the camera, except one, I actually really like where it's at. And two, you guys know, this camera is so finicky. If I blink at it wrong, it'll disconnect, so. Need a nap before game. Gabaco. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you especially with COVID, like, you go do what you need to, Tori. I'll see you in fucking an hour. An hour and a half. Yeah! Oh man, that actually sucks. We didn't get to the point that I wanted you here. Ah, well, whatever. Plenty of other streams. Plenty of other streamers. Okay, maybe I gotta take some stuff out first. Alright. Monitor cable. I can never remember what those fucking things are called. Power cable. That's not very long. Power cable. I don't know why that one wasn't box step. The stand, I believe. Okay. Styrofoam. Yes, so stand and all right, here she is. The monitor. Yes. Yes. Is there anything else in here? Instructions. You guys, look at that. Look at that hole. I kind of forgot how wide. Like, that's just under 2 whole fucking feet. And again, like, 26.5 is the display, not the like, the entirety of the monitor. Oh, guys, look at that. Look at that. That's incredible. It's so big. I'm so happy. Well, you know, I'm still... We'll see how it is. You know, we'll make sure it works before doing any hardcore celebrating. Time to smash it? Hey, no spoilers, okay? I very much want to do a stream where we destroy the old monitor. Because I still have it. It's actually sitting behind all this pile of shit. It's sitting back there. So yeah, I planned on doing having it be part of something. Maybe we'll do it for the honestly, yeah, I'll probably save it for that 12-hour subathon I was gonna do. Whatever, I can stop yelling now. Whatever day that that ends up being, we'll probably do it then. Happy emotions. But I will put it up for now. Safely as I can. But yeah, we will for sure be doing something live with that old monitor. Who keeps trying to get a hold of me? Swear to God, if someone's asking for... No. Fucking people like, hey, saw your streamer. Do you want to, I could help you grow your channel without the use of bots or anything. Are you interested? And it's like, maybe if you were someone I knew, maybe if you were like, you know, another streamer friend of mine who was like, hey, do you want me to do some help? Do you want me to like raid right now or something? It's like, yeah, sure, do whatever. But no, I don't need random people's help. We'll get along just fine. You know, that's kind of my point, is I don't want to prove myself. So, I'm kind of debating on whether... Okay, that is shaking the camera. I'm kind of debating on whether to end stream. Mostly because... Well, I'll ask the one person here. Squoose? Do you wanna call it $100 for 50 bots to boost those numbers, Jimmy? Yeah, exactly. Squoose, I'll ask you. Are you good? Could you walk away, or do you want to help me on the Last Ingress? Because that's basically what I was doing today. I'll give you a hint. Anytime you see a stream titled something similar to this, where like, I blank need your help, or I need your help, or I really need your help, or I absolutely need your help, or anything like that, where likely it's gonna be like, it's probably gonna be a day where I ask you guys to help me with some TTRPG design stuff. Are you interested in sitting with me and doing that, or because if not, like, it's just me and you, buddy. Like, I don't have to play the numbers game on Twitch as hard anymore, but like, hi. Like, it's just a conversation between me and you at this point. Let's just sit in silence and stare at each other. I could talk shit for a while. Okay. So so there's one thing in particular that I really, really need help on, like that's been at the forefront of my brain for fucking months now. Realistically speaking, years. But I really, and this is actually this was why I wanted Tori here, is just because I wanted her additional input. Not saying that like this is why I wanted Tori, not you. Not what I'm saying. Um, no, it's just she's really good at this sort of shit. Thank you for clipping that. I'm guessing that's what you just posted to the Discord. Okay, so here's what I need help with. In the world of the Last Ingress, there are these naturally occurring crystals that have varying properties and are used in the production of both mundane and magic items. And I don't know what to fucking call them. Also, I never fucked with Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts, so I'm gonna be lost if that shit is mentioned. No. Again, like, yes, my game and, like, the world definitely takes a lot of inspiration from those sorts of things, but, noted. Yeah, I guess the only thing that would have helped was Kingdom Hearts, because it has, like, this particular thing was very heavily influenced by something that the Kingdom Hearts games have, but it's not something exclusive to Kingdom Hearts. Essentially, what I'm asking for, like, these things function in game as a required material for the crafting of magic items. Okay? So again, you say you play D&D, so I can very easily put it in D&D terms. Let's say you were wanting to make a magic item. Although there isn't anything specific in, like, any of the, like, released, the published material so far. Did something similar in his D&D game. Okay. So, it's like, let's say you want to make a magic item. These are required components for, like, the enchanting process. And there's a variety of different types of all different rarities, you know, that have different effects depending on what it is you're wanting to enchant this item with, right? However, for, like, lore purposes as well, for the Last Ingress and its inherent setting specifically, like, in the world, this stuff is also used, like, yes, for magic items for the adventurers, but also in, like, everyday industry. So, like, a lot of transportation and vehicles run off of this stuff. There's one type of it that's used in, like, gardening materials. It's crushed up into a dust and put into, like, used as an ingredient in, like, mulch and soil and things like that. So multiple different purposes and all that, but it's basically these naturally occurring crystal structures that have that come in a variety of different types with different effects. But I don't know what to call it as a whole, because for the longest time it was just the word materials, but that's too generic, that's too broad. And so I called them a variety of different things, but nothing has fucking really leapt out at me and been like, oh my god, that is so good. Yes, that's perfect. We'll use that. What the fuck are they called right now, actually? Right now, they are called... Well, I don't know. I'm trying to... Clearly, I renamed it. But I don't know to what, so I don't know where I'm looking. Oh, okay. So the last time I changed it, it was changed to Essentia. Because these things were... They were crystallized essence, but they were also essential. So I called them... It got renamed to Essentia, but I don't like that. And the one that I have right now that I'm not sure whether I'm keeping or not. Materia, but Kirkland brand. Yeah, I mean, basically. Dubs, hello. Welcome, buddy. I was starting to get worried. You're good, man. Thanks for showing up. Glad you could make it. Let me just bring this up, actually. So this is the document that I've been, like, working with. So again, they come in different sizes, but also different rarities, which this size thing I may change as well. I don't know how complicated I want to make the whole system. But yeah, so, you know, you've got, like, the different elemental stuff, which is also a very big theme in the game. So, like, you have the elemental stuff, but then you have, you know, the more stranger sort of things, the more esoteric sort of things, you know, that have different effects and everything. But it's the name for it themselves. And so, like, in Kingdom Hearts, they're called synthesis materials. In, you know, the big one for Final Fantasy is, like, materia, or they just call them crystals. Is there any established world lore, like a grand creator, an aspect of nature type shit? So, the world does have a pantheon. It has gods that have their own, you know, affiliations and portfolios. There is a singular originator of everything that is called... And now bear with me, because of course I named it, but I also very recently, I believe, changed what that thing is called. For years, like what it was known as was the sentient origin. But as I said, I think I changed that. Let me check. Oh, did I turn the music back on? I did. The living origin. Okay, so I just... more simple. But yes, so there is the living origin. A sentient, you know, supreme god that kind of came to this space and made... They actually didn't do much. They more made the things that make that shaped the world into what it is today. So there is, but it doesn't have a name. It's just very few people, like, that is super esoteric knowledge, right? Like, very few, like, day-to-day citizens give a shit. You know, there may be small religions dedicated to them, but there's plenty of other gods who were more prominent in myth and story for people to worship. So the concept of the living origin is not in, like I said, like day-to-day, like, average citizen type thing. So no name. You know, probably has plenty of other monikers throughout time, and I'm sure others have given it a name. But as far as officially, simply known as the living origin, this entity that showed up to this space one day and started shaping, rather. in terms of aspects of nature, again, there's a nature goddess. However, she would not be the originator of these materials. Because lore-wise, what these things are solidified, crystallized, physical forms of ether. Essentially the field of magic that persists throughout the world, and different energies or like specific elements. So a big part of the game, both logistically speaking and lore wise, are the concepts of the elements, which in this game are fire, water let me slow it down. Fire, water, earth, air, nature, light, and dark. Those are the 7 elements that exist in this world as these like primal, unbreakable, ever existing energies. And so again, like, you have crystallized versions of that are basically just condensed ether of the fire element, the water element, etc., etc. And then, like I said, you have other ones that are just different forms of that ether crystallized in different ways. So, so did the gods make these essence, or are the two exclusive? They are separate. So, like, for example, the goddess of fire, she did not introduce fire to the world. She was the embodiment of fire. She is made of the pure essence of fire and then shaped it. The gods of any particular element have the ability to fully manipulate their element, but they were not the progenitors of it. They did not bring it to the world. It was already here, and they were in charge of shaping it. So, again, kind of like very basic story. Well, here, I'll just read this. So, it is said that in the beginning, there was only an empty void, an abyss without light or darkness. Then, some awesome cosmic force willed space, time, light, darkness, and matter into existence. This cosmic force has been referenced several times in ancient texts as the living origin. The elements of creation danced in a tumultuous storm of lawlessness without form. It was pure chaos. Whether this entity did so intentionally or not, from those creations came 4 primal forces: Eros, Teros, Astrea, and Eternus. And again, so this is the lore of the world in terms of what people perceive it to be. Whether any of what's written here is fact or not is up to whoever's running the game to decide. For me personally, it is, but someone could be running a game and just say, nope, that's all ancient myth. Here's how things actually happened. Okay, solid. The gods didn't introduce these elements, but they are the elements in the purest form. Exactly. Right, just like how the brain named itself. Exactly. But yes, so the gods, there were these entities that were birthed / created before the gods. And it's those 4 primal forces, and then Euceria and Dalgos, which are essentially the goddess of like of the sun, of daytime, and then Dalgos is the god of the moon and the night. And then those two each created 3 gods to make 6 that were able to control this chaotic energy that was there and to use it to shape a world. And that's how the world of the game, which is called My Terra, was born, how it was crafted and molded. skipping a couple millennia to like modern day, and not that these are new, I'm just saying like to modern day, there are mines throughout the world where you know, where people dig and then find these veins or these crystal these crystalline structures that have these particular properties. So essentially just in spots of the world, and it doesn't necessarily have to be underground, but in these spots of the world where this particular element or energy was soupy enough, it coalesces and solidifies into this crystalline structure that can then be harvested and used for its innate properties. But what the fuck do I call it? Do you see what I'm getting at? It's like, all of this is fine and great. Like, I'm fine on the lore of it. I don't know what to fucking call it. So that's what I mean. Like, I've got a couple names that all, like, they suit it fine, but they just don't, just for whatever reason, something for me isn't clicking. The current one I have that I will say, like, so in the document, it's still called Essentia, but I think I just called it, like, Crystallium, or, yes, Crystallium, because I like the idea of it sounding like a periodic element, like what in the real world is an element, like the periodic table. And, you know, they all end with that, like, IUM. So, like, I like the idea of calling it Crystallium, but I don't know how it sounds. I don't know how other people feel. Termina, Perpetuus, Eternus. Well, I mean, I think the Eternus thing would just get confused with the actual entity of the same name. Yeah, so, like, it's like, I want the name to invoke what it is. Like, you know, the fact that it is this solid, tangible, but crystallized, purest form of what the concept is, or what the element is. And yeah, it's been, you'd think this would be like the simplest fucking thing in the world, but like, I've had so many people trying to help me. Godstone, if it's just what the layman would call it. Godstones? Godstones. I'm not 100% on it, but I definitely think you've hooked me. You've hooked me with it. I think it needs some workshopping from that, but I think there's something there. My only hesitation is that gives the average person, so I'm more thinking, you know, like player, who's trying to learn all of the lore, that gives the insinuation that the gods are the ones who made it, when it's very specifically not. Now, again, as I just said a couple minutes ago too, that could also just be what they believe. You know, like, because it would be perfectly understandable for, you know, when this material was first discovered, for people to assume that the gods made it, especially if most of them are elemental in nature. To be like, oh yeah, of course, you know, Gnarlus put this, you know, put this material here. Need to throw in an M. Night Shyamalan twist in there. Yeah, the fact that, like, some story of a campaign is that you find out that this material that everyone assumed for the longest time was a gift from the gods was complete accident. It was just a work of nature itself after my Terra was formed. I kind of like that. Godstone. I am really liking it. It's for sure top contender right now. Like I said, I'm gonna kind of workshop it. I'm gonna sleep on it. I'm gonna say it, see how it feels. Deity brick, yeah. Dude, you have no fucking idea how TLI it is of you to say that. So let me do me a favor. Well, do me a favor in an hour. Text Tori with this message with no lead up, no warning, no context. I just want you to message her the phrase Moonstag as one word. And just, actually, I'm going to type something out for you in chat so that you have it. And I want you, this will freak her out. If you want to do this. If you message her out of nowhere, do you want to go to Moonstag and get some blueberry and pear scones? She's going to be, like, she's going to figure it out in 2 seconds that I told you to do it. Because she knows that you're active on stream. But there will be a moment where she'll be like, how the fuck did you know about that? And I'll explain it. So I don't know why. It's just become a running meme in Last Ingress games. That because it's set in modern, the equivalent of like the modern world, right? So like there's technology, there are cell phones, there's the internet, there's everything like that, just alongside the sword and sorcery fantasy type stuff. Which again, like the things that we're talking about, the Godstone, is the stuff that has essentially allowed technology to progress at a tremendous pace because it's magic rocks. You can do a lot with those things. Yotori found this new brewery called Moonstag. They got some kick-ass blueberry and pear brews. No. That's what I'm saying is, like, literally just say what I told you. Because, like, don't phrase it as anything else. Don't frame it as something different. If you copy and paste what I sent, she'll have a momentary freak out and be very confused. Especially because by that point she'll be waking up from a COVID nap. So, like, awesome. That'll be really enjoyable. Let me know how it goes. I'm sure actually she'll let me know how it goes. We've got D&D tonight. So the reason why. When I started running games, for playtest, anytime I would introduce like a concept into the game or explain something happening that we had in the real world, it's always that catch of like, oh, but it wouldn't be called that. It would be called something else, because everything that's named in our world has a very specific our world reason why it's named that. Which wouldn't exist in this world, of course. So we had to come up with something different. So one day early on in the campaign that I had started that Tori was in, they wanted to go to a coffee shop. And they were like, yeah, just the most generic one, the one that's on every corner, let's go to a Starbucks. And so I thought, Starbucks. And I was like, oh, do you mean Moonstag? They've got a Moonstag. the scones thing was just like a weird choice I made because I was like, yeah, you go in and like you order your coffee and you see, they've got their baked, and someone was like, like, oh well, I want a scone. What are their baked goods? And I'm like, oh, they got a blueberry and pear. I will say too, we have yet to make them, to actually try them to see if they'll be good, because of course the initial reaction was like, blueberry and pear? Ugh. Maybe they're incredible. I've never made a scone before. And I don't know if anyone I know can make scones. But if they do, I would really like for someone to make a blueberry and pear scone so I can finally say that we did it. That we made the thing from the Last Ingress. That'd be really interesting. But yeah, so that's basically the running joke for Last Ingress games, is anything that comes up. Eyes of the Ether. Oh, new name for the things. Gotcha. Eyes of Ether. That may be a thing too. I'm still particular on Godstone, but I do like that as something. Eyes of the Ether. I'm gonna use that as something. I've got many notes to keep track of things, mostly for the Last Ingress stuff. So I will add Eyes of the Ether. Yep, I'll use that for something. But yeah, so that's just kind of the running joke, is we use synonyms for all the names of stuff that exist in the world of the Last Ingress when we play, but that need an alternative name. We spent like a quarter of a session one time, the same group that Tori was in, coming up with alternative band names for a long time. That was a ton of fun. Just don't skimp on the footnotes on the credits about how I, the god of Chester, best boy at naming things. No, like, no joke, like, completely legitimately, like, in the credits for the book, like, anyone who has play tested or helped or anything, like, here they all are. Anyone who's helped. So the more we do this, because I for sure plan on doing a lot of Last Ingress work on stream. But that's to say, like, because I want to put in the credits, like, that a Twitch stream helped write an RPG. How fucking cool is that? And for marketing purposes. It's like, hey, come buy the game that a Twitch chat helped write. See how insane it is. But no, like, if you want a specific credit in there, and not just to be, part of that Twitch chat, just let me know. I got zero problems. Doesn't even have to be your real name. If you want it to be your username, that is fine too. But yeah, I've thanked everybody that has helped me on this game, regardless of whether I am friends with them anymore or I like them anymore. Regardless of that, like, if they put in the work, they put in the work. And lay down your real name for it? Okay. But yeah. Yeah, so like, other examples, like, Bluetooth exists as a technology, but I can't call it Bluetooth, right? So in the last, on my Terra, that particular type of technology is called Green Fang. What else is a popular one? Let's see, Moonstag, Green Fang. I don't have an alternative name for, like, the internet yet. The Azul Canine. Yeah, so you're getting it. You're getting it. Yeah, like I said, we spent, like, almost a whole session one time just doing band names. Hold on, Mana's calling me. That shouldn't be happening. Hello? Hello? Hey, do I need to mute? I am on stream. Okay. Okay. We're back. But yeah, you get it. I don't think I need to go on. But yeah, so it was very fitting that the fuck was it even that? Oh, Deity Brick. Yeah. Same vein of thinking, same line of comedy. You understand. What else? Like I said, that's kind of been my big thing for a bit. That's the main part of the like magic item creation stuff that I need to figure out. I still need to work on. That's my biggest hitch in the rules so far. Like everything else has been set for a good amount of time. Like the system itself does not need a lot of adjusting. It's more like my biggest thing at this point is just getting the lore out, and finalizing a lot of things. So in that, my biggest thing has basically been I need to stop doing that. The magic item stuff, because it works very differently than like D&D. So I've been racking my brain about that. And for some reason, every time I try and think of it, I just get hitched at the fact that I don't have a name for this shit yet. It shouldn't be. I should just placeholder and move on. So here's what's difficult about making a magic item creation system. What do you mean there's no bookmark? God damn it. Why is that labeled as a table of contents? Here's the difficult thing about doing it with this game system. And I know I'm just glassed glory. You need... Maybe that is enough out of you. And I know why I'm about to say something as I just began to scroll past a list of things. The Last Ingress as a whole shies away from having a set list of options. Meaning, unlike something like Dungeons and Dragons, where they have, you know, their list of magic items, to an extent, that does not exist. I don't want it to exist in the rules of the Last Ingress. Because that's on the player. It's player controlled. I don't want players sitting at a table for a campaign saying, okay, what magic items do I want? In terms of looking at a list of like, oh, well, there's a flame tongue, there's the ice brand, there's the sword of wounding, there's the, you know, this or that or blah, blah, blah. Again, there is an industry for magic items in games, so they do exist. There are catalogs, and those will be made. But in terms of creation, the players have the freedom to do so. It's still involved, And I know the general process of it, but I essentially want a player to say, like, hey, I have this idea for a magic item. One that does pre-exist in the lore of the world, but let's just say a player had this idea. They said, I want to be able to walk on air as if it were solid. Okay. Then, get a mundane item like footwear, and then you would need the appropriate, it's like, so okay, you're essentially wanting to manipulate air, so you would need the godstone of for the air element. Since you're wanting it to become solid, maybe also the earth element. And then you essentially combine those materials and magic into this mundane item that now becomes a pair of shoes that let you walk on air. You'd be hard pressed to not find a DM not willing to reflavor specific things. Exactly. But so I'll explain why it's being kept so open. So this game does have classes. But there's only 3. And that's because of the freedom that the player has to customize it. So it's essentially more of like umbrellas and just like, oh, there's only 3 options. No, there's only 3. So again, lore. In this game, you play as humans. Like this game does not have like elves and dwarves and things like that. There are humans and animals, but also monsters and, obviously things for you to fight and things like that. But everybody plays a human, and then there are different races of humans. I actually I shy away from the word races, and in this game they are called lineages. Regardless, a percentage of that population unlock the ability to they manifest powers fueled by their soul, which in this world is a proven fact that every human has a soul. It's actually something they can measure with scientific devices. So essentially you unlock the inner potential of your soul, and you become an awakened. This manifests in one of 3 ways, which are the 3 classes. It either manifests as the ability to cast magic. It manifests in the ability to manipulate ether through use of spells and magic. And you become a caster. You're able to physically manifest a weapon that is essentially like the essence of your soul, and those are called wielders. Or you form a magical bond with a creature from a different world, a different realm, a different dimension. It's unknown where they're from, but you form a bond with a creature that you are able to summon. And when it is summoned, you also go through some form of physical transformation and gain attributes of the creature you summoned. And they are known as callers. So, with those in mind, I didn't want to pigeonhole people into, okay, you're a wielder. What's your weapon? Well, what are the options? Literally anything. I didn't want there to just be a list of like, oh, okay, you're a wielder. Here's how the rules work for swords. Here's how it works for maces. Here's how it works for guns or bows or this and that. I didn't want that. I wanted people to choose what they want within those parameters, but to essentially do whatever you want with that concept. So in order, and that pillar has been a foundation for design in the rest of the game. In that there is a framework for you to work in, but the specifics within that are totally up to you. So, again, there is no list of weapons. There is no list of creatures to use for calls. There's no... the game has no spell list. Like plenty of other RPGs do, like D&D. There is no big list of spells in the back and you know, casting times and durations and different effects. How the magic system in the game works is you describe what you're wanting to do, and then you roll on a table. That, actually, I can show you real quick. Because, again, I didn't want a list of spells. I wanted people to be able to do whatever they wanted to. You know, because, like, how much does it suck in D&D to be like, oh, I kind of want to do this particular thing with my magic as this wizard or sorcerer or cleric that I'm playing, but I don't have the spell for it. I don't have the spell prepared. I don't know the spell, or there's not something in the game that creates that effect, or oh, I'm out of, like, I could do that, but I'm out of the spell slot for it, so I can't. You got to take 13 short rests today. Yeah, exactly. Is, you know, so not only, like, for magic specifically now, not only is there not a, like, dedicated spell list, casters and callers and wielders who can perform a modicum of magic as well, you don't have spell slots. You don't have a finite reserve that you need to draw upon in order to use magic. You can use magic as much as you want, but there are potential consequences. So the table here, the magic check table, essentially how it happens, like in a game, the whoever's wanting to perform the magic, so that we'll just say the spellcaster, describes what it is, describes the effect they are wanting to create, whether that is damage or teleporting or you know, like, whatever the fuck it is. They describe what it is they're wanting to do. For the Last Ingress, the individual running the game is known as the story master. So they describe to their story master what it is they're wanting to do with their magic. The story master then decides how difficult that effect would be to create, and decides its spell tier. As you can see here, you know, minimal, minor, moderate, major, and maximal. Those names may change, I don't know. Then, the caster rolls their die, adds appropriate modifiers, and they're trying to hit the target class. If they succeed, great. If they fail, the spell simply does not happen. Yes, the spell does not take effect. However, the danger comes in, the risk is in that column that you may or may not be able to read. Hold on, let me zoom in just in case. Wow. the risk comes in with the spell Backlash. So, again, simple sake, let's just say you're casting a minimal tier spell. You have to get an 8 or higher for it to succeed. If you get less than 8, it does not succeed. However, if you get a 3 or less, so essentially, and as you can do the math on the rest of these, if you miss the TC by 5 or more, then the spell backlashes and in some way comes back on you in a detrimental or harmful fashion. Kind of like a crit failure. Essentially, yes. And so that is the balance for essentially like having a system with no spell slots. Like there still has to be some sort of risk or detriment for essentially having unlimited magic. And even then, there isn't a progression of like you're not allowed to, or you're unable to cast, major or maximal spells until you reach like this thing where you have to unlock the ability to cast them. No, you can start session 1, brand new character, and attempt to create like an enormously powerful spell. But you would have to get a really high roll to do it, and it may even be with your numbers impossible. But that's something your character can improve on. To be able to cast those spells with a lower and lower chance of a backlash or other difficulty. So, and then like I said, so there's all that, and then but casters have modifiers and other numbers, so it's not just the die roll plus like one number, or it's not just the die roll. You have different modifiers that help or potentially hinder your check. But I also have a system in there for if multiple people are casting the same spell, or if they just assist you in some magical fashion. So there's all sorts of different ways, and again, I wanted the freedom of it. I wanted all of these cinematic moments that you see in movies and anime and video games and all that. Like, there's so many things where I look at, even D&D property stuff, where I'm like, what spell are they casting? I guess they're casting that particular spell. That means I know that they used an X level spell and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, like, I just want to, it's just concept. Like, you should just know what you want to do and then be able to try and do it. So that's what all this is. Long story short. And yeah, this is a part of the game I'm really, really proud of. It used to be complete shit. It used to be a lot more complicated, a lot longer in combat, and needed a lot of work. But we've kind of landed at this, and I like where it is in that aspect. So yeah, so my current difficulty with like the magic item stuff is just coming up with a system with the parameters, but leaving it open enough for individual player and, story master creativity. To essentially be like, okay, like, if a player comes to a story master and says, okay, I had an idea for a magic item, or like, I want a magic item that does this. What am I going to need in order to make that if I can't buy it? Or if they just, again, for flavor, want to make it themselves. Because I also, one of the kind of tick boxes in my mind is make sure crafting a magic item yourself / getting one crafted for you is a cheaper option, strictly monetarily, than just outright buying it if it does exist, as the incentive for players to want to use that system, to go and, to find the materials, to find the correct things, to spend the time it may take for this item to be made, instead of paying like a much higher cost to just buy it outright. But still having the option for both is like, hey, like if you're story-wise, like if you're in a rush, you don't have time to like, get something made, and like you don't have time to like go find the materials and do this and that, and then wait for someone to make it, then great, you can go buy it. It's just like if you've got the money, like it's just going to cost a lot more to do so. So there's that. You know what really sucks? Most of the days that and it's not, I don't think it's intentional. I don't think it's people seeing what's happening and then leaving. It just so happens that almost every day that I do something for the Last Ingress on stream, it's my low viewer days. And that just really sucks because I'm so passionate about this. I really love talking about it. I love going over stuff and asking people for help. Like, I'm not trying to get like free labor out of you guys. I want the back and forth. I want the discussion. I would want nothing more than to have a team of writers with me doing this shit, but I don't have any money to pay anybody, and I'm not expecting anybody to work for free. Vacuums. What the fuck are you talking about? Gotta run some games on stream. So, hey, if you go to Twitch and search The Last Ingress, you'll see a channel come up with about 34 followers. Vacuums really suck. Yep. I did for like 2 sessions, I think we ran a game on Twitch. And it fell apart. Nothing to do with it being, well, I won't say nothing. Not because it was streamed, like not because it was a stream thing. Like, yeah, obviously there were technical difficulties here or there, but it just the usual game fell apart because of scheduling and people couldn't show up and this and that and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I did try, and we got like 2 sessions in. There's actually, you can go to YouTube as well and look up The Last Ingress, and there will be a channel with 2 episodes up. So hey, I will at least say, like, I don't think anything major about the game has changed since that build of it when we played it. So if you're interested in seeing what it looks like, then you can go watch it. All that being said, I will say, I can't remember if you were here. I'm guessing not. But the other day, I was tossing around the idea of using a day for stream to have a game, whether that was D&D or TLI. I still haven't really decided, but I'm tossing around the idea of trying to get some people together for a game on stream. I think that would be pretty fun. Yeah, like I said, just have to decide the game, figure out who I'd like to be in it, how I would do it, and then, getting everything set up for it. But yeah, we may do it. So, all right, guy. Singular. That's going to be it for stream today. All my usual shit. Facebook, Twitter, all of it's down there. I got donations and shit. Still running the contest to get little Silas, to get this little guy till the end of the month. Highest donator will get it. Big sad. I know. But I now have to run a D&D game for a couple hours. And I'm actually really looking forward to it. We're in the final arc of the campaign. Everyone is like, pretty sure at this point everyone is level 16. So working our way to 20. We're in the final arc of the campaign, heading into and I don't know if your people gonna die. That is up to the die. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with the setting of Eberron, but if you are, the party has entered the Mournlands. So that's what we're doing. If you're unfamiliar, basically the party's going to a land of magical devastation and complete fuckery where space and time mean absolutely nothing. Ain't that Unearthed Arcana? Nope. No, Eberron was... I mean, they did a little bit of Unearthed Arcana with Eberron, but they officially published it, like, 3 or 4 years ago. I know because our campaign started about 3 years ago. So, but even then, Eberron actually came out in 3rd edition. Wizards held a contest for people to submit their homebrew worlds to make it official, to get them officially published as actual material, and a guy named Keith Baker submitted Eberron, and it got published, fully published, and supported in 3rd, 4th, and now 5th edition. But yeah, basically they're entering an area that used to be a country, and then it exploded. So that's where they're heading. My first character death was a Warforged. Okay, Warforged Paladin that got reincarnated as a forest gnome. I'm sorry for your loss. Not about the death part, but about being reincarnated as a forest gnome. Death by 6 consecutive mimics. What terrible luck. I'll tell you real quick before I go, because I do have to go. My best mimic story, the one that I am personally most proud of, I made the middle of a 12-foot ladder a mimic. Not the whole thing, not the top, not the bottom, the very middle of it. And I was really proud about that one, because that, for sure, no one was expecting that. They saw a ladder that took them from the one floor of the dungeon they were on to the next one. And, you know, they were, like, inspecting and everything, and I'm like, yeah, it's a fucking ladder. They were like, yeah, no traps, no nothing. I was like, you don't see any traps, you don't see any magic cast on it, it looks like a 12-foot ladder. So they're like, okay. Started climbing up, and then the guy in the lead, I think was our rogue, got to the middle, and I was like, you grasp the next rung, and you know, you keep climbing up, but when you attempt to take your hand off that first one, you realize it's very sticky, and your hand can't come off of it. And when you start to pull it away, it looks like a, you know, like a little thing. And then as you look up, you see a multiple set of eyes appear on one of the next rungs that's just above you. And then the whole thing turned into a mouth and attacked them. It was fucking great. It was two 4-foot ladders with a 4-foot mimic. Yep. It absolutely was. I was so proud of that one. So, all right. Well, again, speaking of D&D, I got to go prep for mine. So, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good day. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, donations, join the Discord. Greg